I started my January the 1st of 2022 going to see The Matrix, and that movie really changed my life. A lot of people didn't like that movie, but I loved it. And I walk out of there with a changed perspective on matters, conditioning, programming, and software is a lot of Agent Smiths and Decepticons, and very few Neos. When I got out, I was on my way to go see a friend to do a photo shoot for him. His birthday was coming up, and I was on the highway, and there's two sides. It was the left and the right. The left was my grandmother's house. The right was Atlanta. I had to make a choice because earlier on the day, there was a tornado warning. And as you guys know, there was a tornado that ran through 13 states, including especially Kentucky. And that was right before Christmas. I feel bad for everybody that went through that. But I thought about that in my head. And I saw the traffic lights swinging back and forth. The wind was building up. It was getting real bad. And I asked myself, my inner voice, my inner guidance, my intuition, what's the best thing to do? Do I take the red pill or the blue pill? So I went to the left because it felt more right to me. And that was back to my grandma. And it was a 15-20 minute drive back home, but it felt like an eternity. I got to the highway and I started seeing sirens, cop cars everywhere. You could hear it. I felt like at this point I was in my little SUV and all around, like I was in the eye of a tornado, like a cyclone. And it was getting real scary. A couple thoughts ran through my mind. What if a tornado came and destroyed my car and everything? Would any of these things matter to me? These labels, these expectations. Because once the house is torn down, all we have is each other. And this was what was on my mind. Earlier on the day, me and my grandma kind of like, we wasn't seeing eye to eye. I walked out the house on my way to the Matrix, and I wish I had started off positively, but my grandma's getting old and, complaining about every little thing. And I just wanted to enjoy this time, and for some reason I just felt like going back home to make things right the next morning, just to hug my grandma. And I had this sort of paranoia that she would pass away or something. Like, is this the final thing I'm gonna remember walking out these doors, just not spending time with her? And all I could think about was, I want to make things right when we wake up in the next morning, which would be January the 2nd. And when I got up, I was a little bit worried because she hadn't gotten up at all. And then out the blue, you can hear the door opening up. And I walked out. She was on the phone with a friend. I gave her a hug. And I told her I loved her. I told her Happy New Year's. And I saw her eyes. I didn't realize how light brown it was. Maybe it was just a spark, but she looked at me and she was happy while on the phone with a friend. It was like I saw a different side of her. I saw a little girl in an old lady's body. And I started my day brushing off the treadmill in the garage nobody was using. And I was like, dude, I gotta change my life. And I wanna use what I got here in the garage. And from then on, I just developed a healthier lifestyle again, instead of having to drive all the way to the gym. And I've been hitting the ground running ever since, but I've also been going through a lot of things. I feel like I'm in survival mode. The only thing during that time I cared about was food and shelter, a car to drive to work, and just living a peaceful, humble life. Nothing else mattered to me besides family and if they're healthy, if I'm healthy. And once I got to this understanding, my boy was telling me, Alex, you know why people need money? People need money because they want to do things. But did you know you only need enough to have food and shelter? And of course there's more to it than that, but I understood what he was saying. And I just want this to help somebody, man. Just keep your life simple as possible if you're going through some things. And if you have those things, you're richer than a lot of people on this earth. And I just hope everybody has a good day.